So the film is based on an original book by Takayama Makoto, and when my producer approached me about possibly turning this into a film, I read it, and inside that book was a story of gay people, but it was also a universal love story. And so when it came to trying to shape this film with a team that wasn't gay, including myself, I knew that there was a great responsibility to face the content honestly, and to do that, we hired an LGBTQ+ inclusivity director, as well as an intimacy coordinator, who we worked with very closely from the stage of writing the script and all of the pre-production. And so that's how we tried to be as responsible as possible in shaping the content of this film, and that's also why we cast the actors that we cast for the 2 lead roles.
Yes, Ryohei-san?
Yes, yeah, when I got the offer from him, I wasn't sure about if I can take this job or not, because I believe that representation is really important. But then I look up on the internet to find out if there is any openly gay actor in Japan. And I found 0 openly gay actors in Japan, which is really sad. That means there is still a huge risk for actors in Japan to come out about their sexual orientation. So I was like, okay, we have to start from where we are. The most important thing is making queer films like EGOIST more, so that the society, our society and the industry can move forward. And of course, the 2 of the main guys here are played by hetero actors, me and Hio, heterosexual actors. So the representation is not 100% perfect. But we were all, if we were to do these roles, we wanted to be 100% committed, and 100% respectful, and 100% responsible for our characters and also for gay community. So that's what we tried to do. We did everything we could do at that moment in Japanese industry, and we are so proud of making this film, because I still believe this was a huge step for Japanese industry to move forward, even on 1 step.
Okay, that's out of the way now. Before I forget, of course we have cards and pencils and people on either side, so please get your questions in soon and early, because we only have 20 minutes for the Q&A. So let's go back to this intimate.
Yes, 20 minutes.
Counting the minutes. Let's go back to this intimacy coordinator and intimacy choreographer and LGBTQ inclusive director. This is something that wasn't done in Japan before. How did you work with them? And yes, how did you find them? How did you work with them?
今回、LGBTQ+ インクルーシブディレクターを務めてもらった宮田蓮さんという方がいるんですけども、この方はもともとうちのエゴイストのヘアメイクとして参加をしてくれてる人です。
So the person that we hired as our LGBTQ+ inclusivity director is a person named Miyata Ren, and originally they were the hair and makeup artist for this film.
なので映画を作る上で、いろんな相談をしていく中で必然、この要するに LGBTQ+ のインクルーシブディレクターのような立場の人が今回のものづくりには必要だという中で、僕が一緒にそのスクリプトのリサーチをする中でいろんなものに対して、例えば、良平演じる康介の友人の方たちは皆さん素人の方でゲイの方たちなんですけども、彼らを探す、オーディションさせてもらう時の、力になってもらったり、インティマシーコレオグラファーの聖吾さんという方がいるんですけども、その方を、紹介してもらったりと、もう入り口から本当にいろんなことを僕の相談、役者も含めてサポートしてくれました。なので入れなきゃいけないとか、こういう人たちを入れなきゃいけないというよりも必要だと僕たちが思った、ただのポーズではなくて入れるようになっていったっていう形ですね。
So working with the LGBTQ plus inclusivity director, that began from research and writing the script, and also for casting. Kosuke, the main character, and his friends, many of his friends are actually non-actors who are gay, and our inclusivity coordinator helped to cast those people. And of course there was also Seigo, who was the intimacy choreographer, and they helped to introduce us to this person as well. And so from the start, the LGBTQ plus inclusivity director supported the project, and it wasn't that we were trying to kind of pose and just have people in these supporting roles because we had to. It really was that the project wouldn't be shaped without them.
And how is that for you?
It was really amazing to have them on set, because literally after every shot, I would go to Ray Miyata, the inclusive director, and to check if that looked authentic or not, if it looked real or not. I mean, my hand gesture, the way I talk, the way I walk, the way I look at my lover, I asked him about everything. Well, of course, before the shooting started, I went through a thorough research, and I interviewed so many people, but I thought it wasn't enough, so I thought I knew what I was doing as an actor, but the result in my acting, the thing I've done while the camera is rolling, that could go wrong as a gay person. So I checked with him every time, and also with Seigo, the intimacy choreographer, we checked the same thing in love scenes. We checked if our movement or the way we have sex is and we try not to make it something that heterosexual people just imagine that gay people would have sex. So yeah, it was very lucky for me, and that is also one reason I took this offer, because they said they're going to have these two people on the set.
Did you get any advice from Daishi-san, because you know that he's actually been the star of a porno film?
This man?
Came from left field, didn't it? Was I not supposed to say that?
I know he used to be an actor. It's okay completely, but I just didn't know it.
Thank you.
I-
It's a big honor. Thank you very much. でも僕は、真面目な話ピンクフィルムに出てる時にカメラの前でクルーの前で裸を見せるということがどれだけリスクのあること、どれだけ怖いかということを僕はやっぱり身をもって知ってました。
So in all honesty, when I was in a pink film, I realized that to be naked in front of a crew and camera people is a very risky and scary thing to do.
その経験は本当に大きかったと思います。
Of course, that experience was very impactful.
監督の仕事はいろんなものがあると思うんですけども、僕は役者をしてた経験から役者を守りたい、それは優しくするっていうことではなくて、彼らが芝居をしやすい環境を作ること、完成した作品を見てもらったお客さんに彼らの芝居、彼らが役としてこの中でスクリーンの中で生きているということを感じてもらえるかどうか、それをやっぱり作り出すことが僕の大きな役割の一つだと思ってます。
So of course, being a director carries many roles, but I think that one of them is to protect the actors. And I don't mean that means being kind to the actors. I mean trying to create an environment that makes it easy for them to work and for their acting to appear as something live on the screen for the audience.
Here's something else you probably don't know.
About him or about me?
How about you both?
Listen, please forget it.
No, they are old friends, and they met when all they had was the kernel of hope about becoming somebody someday. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, if you want me to say that. Yes, I was like 22 and he was 27 or 29 when we first met. We were both aspiring actor and aspiring director, and we worked there at the place. Like, you know, it was kind of part-time job, and we talked about, you know, we promised kind of to make a film someday. And you know, I assume it will be more sooner, but it took 18 years. But it's unbelievable to be sitting here with him in New York and talking about this film we did together. It's really great.
So, thank you very much. 本当に今夢のような時間です、僕にとって。やっぱり良平とここに座っていることは、このエゴイストって映画でやっぱりここの場所で一緒にこうやってお客さんの前で Q&A することが、叶うってことは本当に幸せだなと思います。本当に見てくれたお客さん、本当に映画祭、呼んでくれた方々、そしてこれから劇場で見てもらう、アメリカの方々に本当にそうですね、感謝したいですね。
It really feels like a dream to be here on this stage in New York with this film, sitting here next to my friend. It feels like such a dream come true, and I thank everyone that put together this festival and the audience here, as well as all of our future audiences, hopefully when the film comes out here.
I have many more questions, but so do you. So let's get to some of those. Can you explain the title and how it resonates in the story? Maybe we'll start with Daishi-san.
もともとエゴイストという、原作のままなんですけども、日本ではエゴイストという意味、英語でもそうかもしれないですけど、とてもネガティブな言葉のイメージを持っているんですけども、今僕が感じる、社会で、社会性とか人のためにとか、誰かに何かをするっていう行為を強く求められることがあると思うんですけども、もちろんそれは大切なことではあるんですけども、その前に自分を大切にする、自分のことを大事にして、その次に隣の人を大事にする。だから自分のエゴで誰かのことを愛するってことがあってもいいんじゃないかなと思ってます。そうじゃないと、人のためにって時に自分を見失ってしまう。じゃあ自分のことはどうでもいいのかっていうと、そうじゃないと思うんです。なので一番最初にエゴイストってタイトルを出した後に、もう一回エンディングの前にエゴイストって出しているのは、見てくれたお客さんが良平演じる康介が、彼の行いはそれは悪いことじゃない、ただのエゴではない、エゴも決して悪いことではないと思ってもらえたらいいなという意味での、また意味を改めて考え直してもらいたいなという意味でタイトルをつけました。
So the title remains from the original book, but I think that the phrase egoist in Japan and perhaps here as well has definitely a negative connotation. In our current society where there's a kind of sociality that's that is important, which is one where we do things for other people. Of course, that's very important, but I think that we also need to love and care for ourselves, and perhaps that leads to us being able to love and care for others. And so I wanted to think about how these acts that might come off as selfless or selfish in the beginning can actually transform into selfless acts. And that is why the title of the film, Egoist, appears once more before the end credits. I wanted the audience to think about that term and think about how Kosuke's actions maybe started out as something that was more ego-driven, but that the result is that he was able to spread that love and care for other people.
自分のことを大切にしてあげてほしいなと思います。
I want everyone to really take care of themselves.
Bravo, job well done.
Thank you.
So, to Daishi-san, how were you not afraid to tackle a subject that you could not relate to?
自信がないことがいいことだといつも思ってます。怖さをあることが、大切だと思ってます。この題材を僕が描くことの怖さを知ってるから、 LGBTQ+インクルーシブディレクター、インティマシーコリオグラファー、そして横にいる鈴木亮平、宮沢氷、すべてのスタッフと一緒に作らないとできないと思うから僕は作れたと思います。もし自信を持っていたら僕は違うものを作っちゃったかもしれないです。だから怖い、自信がないってことは実は始まりとしてはいつも大切なことだと思ってます。
So first of all, I think it's actually good to not be confident and to be afraid. I think that if I weren't, if I were feeling confident, that I would have made a completely different film. And it's in fact knowing that kind of fear and knowing the risks of taking on this subject matter is what led to, for instance, getting our LGBTQ plus inclusivity director and our intimacy choreographer, for myself, the entire crew, my actors, all of us to work together to really be responsible in creating a really good project or a good film. And so that's where I think that being confident isn't everything, that it's good to kind of second guess oneself.
Okay, Ryohei-san.
It is Ryohei. Yes.
I know, it's
What's
such
your name, right?
Ryohei.
Yes.
Okay, Ryohei-san.
Ryohei.
Yes, you code switched between Kosuke's straight passing,
What's that? What's the word?
passing as straight, and your natural self so flawlessly. Was this scripted, or did you yourself bring this to the screen?
Could you translate that, please? Oh yes. Yes. As a gay man living in Japan, Kosuke has to play many characters, depending on who he's talking to. If he knows if the person knows his sexual orientation or not, and if it's his father, he has to act more in mannish way, and if he's, when he is in Tokyo, he has to be more as he is, and he feels more liberated. So I think that's what I found. It was kind of shocking to me that through the research, I interviewed so many people, and many people from gay community, and some of them said when they go back to their hometown, they have to be more like, what do you call it?
Straight passing.
Straight passing, that's the word? Straight passing. In front of their family. And that's really important. So he said he didn't like going back to his hometown because it's so uncomfortable. And at the same time, some people, one of them said he was a dancer and he has to act more gay in front of a certain artist because that singer likes gay artists, gay dancers to act gay. So sometimes they have to exaggerate their movement and the way they talk. So I was really shocked to hear that because I didn't have any idea before I prepared for this role. So I really wanted to cherish that feeling, and I think it was really important to play differently in front of depending on who he's talking to. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Here's another question for you. I was amazed by how you were so supportive of the LGBTQ plus community during the promotion of the movie. Do you have any thoughts on what you want to do to support the community, LGBTQ plus community in Japan in the future?
Yes. First of all, I was very careful about what I say in the interviews for the promotion of this film, because that means a lot to the audience or the readers, and even to the, of course, not even to the gay community or LGBTQ community, but also the whole society. It's really important what actors say about LGBTQ community. So I felt really responsible about it. You know, 50% of my job was acting in this film, but another 50% was talking in the interview. So that's how important I thought my talking was, and yeah. So it was really natural for me to support the LGBTQ community, and it was nothing like you know, I didn't think I was an ally or anything until someone says to me, "Oh, you're an ally," and oh, okay, I am. You know, but you know, if you get to know, or if you have education about being sexual minority, then I think everyone is going to become ally. It's so natural for me. So you know, I'm making this film was one of the things I could do to support the LGBTQ community, and also I'm thinking about producing a good film, good queer film about the LGBTQ community, and also yeah, saying things like this, and you know, like saying my opinion about, for example, same-sex marriage. They haven't legalized same-sex marriage in Japan yet, so that kind of thing in public, saying that kind of thing in public is not really common in Japan for like actors. So you know, we can start from that, and I think there are many things we can do.
Thank you. And it's a little too soon because the film just came out a few months ago in Japan, but how has it done? Has it already affected some changes, do you think, in the way people are thinking about things? Because I know it did really well.
まず映画として日本で多くの方に見てもらえたことがまずとても大きいと思います。でさらにですね、康介の親友役の仲間の中に母親にカミングアウトできてないしてない出演者がいたんですけども、この映画を機にですね、お母さんにこの映画を一緒に見せて自分がゲイであることをカミングアウトした出演者がいるんです。初号の時に僕のところに来て、監督と僕は母親に自分がゲイであることを言おうと思いますと、それが映画って1人よりも10人だし、10人よりも1000人だし、多くの人に見てもらいたいですけど、僕は医者ではないので誰かの命を直接的に救うことはできないんだけど、僕の作った映画で誰かの一人の人生が大きく変わるといいなと思った時に、一番近くで映画を作った出演者が、そういうふうに言って母親との関係を前に進めてくれたことが本当に嬉しかったです。だから多くの人のどういうふうに感じたかってことはもちろん耳に入ってきてますけども、僕にとってはその出演者の言葉がとても大きかったです。
So of course, I think first of all, it was just so great to know that so many people saw the film, and I think that that's really important. But I just want to talk about something specific that happened with the cast. So Kosuke's friends were played by non-actors, and one of the people that was one of his friends in the film had told me that he had not been able to come out to his mother, and appearing in the film inspired him to show the film to his mother and use that as an opportunity to come out to her. And when he came to say that to me while we were shooting, that this was his plan, you know, as filmmakers, of course, you just want to be able to show your films, you know, as many people as possible. But I'm not a doctor, and so I can't save individual lives in a very direct way. But the fact that even one person felt like they could do something to progress a relationship that was very dear to him, it was just such an important thing. So as much as I've heard lots of different reactions from audiences that have seen the film, it was really this one anecdote or this one story that really touched my heart the most.
And the great news is there is US distribution. That doesn't happen enough. You want to tell us?
もうたくさん喋ったからあれなんだけど、映画はお客さんに届いて初めて完成すると思ってます。僕が映画を作りたいと思った小さい頃見た映画、アメリカの映画だったりいろいろありましたけど、やっぱりこのアメリカという国の映画を見て僕は映画を作りたいという気持ちが生まれました。このアメリカで自分が作った、しかも僕にとって大切な映画、大切な友人と作った映画がこの北米で公開するっていうことはもう本当に本当に幸せです。
So I think I've spoken enough, but I just want to say that I don't think that films are complete until they actually reach the audience. And I've, fell in love with filmmaking, but it was really American films that made me feel like I wanted to work in film. And so to have my film, this film that's so important to me, a film that I made with my very close friend, to have that actually show in the US and North America and to have a theatrical run is just makes me so overjoyed.
And that's happening this fall from, is that right? From Strand Releasing. So look for it and tell all your friends. And so many other things we want to talk about, but I just want you to make a very brief final comment to the New York audience.
Well, okay, that will be important. Okay, let me drink water first then.
And while he's drinking water, just let me remind everybody that of course okay, he's fast.
No, go ahead. You go first. Okay. Well, it'll be really quick. Thank you very much. Thank you again for coming tonight to see our film. We are so proud of being here. I'm sitting here in New York with you guys. I'm really curious about what you thought about this film. Good things, bad things. If you felt something, you just tell your friends or write in your social media or anything, please. So if you have something to say to criticize this film, that is completely okay too. That becomes because that becomes a new power for us, for Japanese industry to make a better movie next time. So that's why, yeah.
And of course we're going to see you in Hollywood.
Of course, well, I'm always open. I'm waiting for your offers. Is there a casting director here? I mean, if there's any, I'll be waiting outside. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much, Daishi Matsunaga, Ryohei Suzuki.
Thank you very much.